Hello everyone, Hunter here at North Central Weather Center again. Hope everybody's having a great Monday out there. If you are new to the channel and like these weather forecasts across the North Central United States, hit the subscribe button down below and the like button. It helps out more than you know. Let's look at the short range forecast here going across the north central states this morning. A chilly start to the day, especially across our northern and eastern areas up here across portions of the upper Midwest and into the Great Lakes and Ohio River Valley, seeing temperatures below freezing into the upper 20s and near 30 degrees this morning. And looking at today, the heights out there, we are seeing a ridge of high pressure over the middle of the country. So that means warmer conditions and also drier conditions will prevail for your Monday time frame. So here's your afternoon highs across the north central states. We're going to be into the 50s at the very least across our northern areas. Our central and southern areas will be into the 60s and the low 70s this afternoon. So definitely a more spring-like day for your Monday. And looking at the precipitation through the day as well, this morning, very dry across the board here, so definitely another day with some very bright sunshine out there. That will continue into the afternoon and even the evening hours. So for wall-to-wall sunshine from your Monday morning through your Monday evening time frame with spring-like temperatures. So definitely take advantage of that if you can as well. And looking at the mid-range forecast going on through early this week, we have more of that west to east flow across the United States here. That's more of that zonal flow from the Pacific Ocean, and this is actually going to be keeping our weather pattern quiet. As we go into later on this week, Thursday, Friday time frame, we're going to see a more volatile setup here. We have more of a positively tilted trough moving into the Pacific Southwest, and what that means for the north central states is more active weather getting in towards later this week. Looking at our temperatures through the week here as we go into Tuesday, the 12th of March, another spring-like day out here, maybe a handful of degrees cooler on Tuesday than we see this afternoon, but all together still seeing those 50s, 60s, and some 70s out there. Going into Wednesday, we have a cold front developing across the northern plains and the upper Midwest. Will be cooler up into the Dakotas, western Nebraska, and northern Minnesota, holding temperatures back behind the front into the 40s and 50s, but ahead of the front, more spring-like temperatures to go around, more 60s and 70s out there. Looking at that cold front by Thursday, that will be entering into the Mississippi Valley, so our Midwestern areas, and into the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, seeing that warm sector, but then all of us will feel the effects of that cold front by Friday as it moves east here into the eastern U.S., leaving high pressure and a colder high pressure in its wake as we go into that Friday time frame. So look at the temperature gradient as we go into Thursday. North of that warm front, we're only going to make it into the 40s. So up here into the upper Midwest, we're only into the 40s. Even the Dakotas seeing the 30s as we go into Thursday. Here's the warm sector. So our southern areas into Missouri, Kansas, into the Illinois Valley could be seeing more of those 70s and those 60s out there on Thursday afternoon. And then we're all going to feel the effects of that cold front by Friday with those 40s and 50s out there across the north central United States. And the warm sector will push further off to the east. Let's look at our precipitation through the week as well. Another winter of a day on Tuesday. Very dry across the middle of the country here. As we go into Wednesday, most of the daytime hours should be dry, but I think afternoon into evening, we're looking off to the west. A low pressure system will develop on the front range, bringing some drizzle and some light rain showers across the Dakotas and into central and western Nebraska, perhaps western Kansas here in our western viewing area by midweek. Then as we go into Thursday, very active setup all across the north central states. We have a warm sector down here. We have to keep an eye on Thursday. Could be a more volatile setup for some severe weather, but let's look at Wednesday first. So here's your Wednesday time frame. Our southern areas down into Kansas and southern Missouri may have to watch out for some stronger thunderstorms with the surface-based CAPE, your convective available potential energy values up around around 1,000, perhaps as high as 1,500 joules per kilogram. And you can see on Wednesday, widely scattered thunderstorms, and any one of these storms that tap into some of that energy Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening could be enough to produce some hail, some gusty winds out there, perhaps a localized tornado threat. But right now, not too concerned about that on Wednesday. And then looking at Thursday, your convective available potential energy reaches further north into our viewing area, perhaps up into Iowa and Illinois here, up to around 1,000 joules per kilogram, perhaps locally 2,000 joules per kilogram down in Missouri into eastern Kansas in our southern viewing area by Thursday. And you can see the wind field with this is supportive here on the mid-level jet, very nice mid-level jet cutting across our southern viewing area, and on the warm sector, our low-level jet supporting some rotating thunderstorms on Thursday. So we are going to watch a volatile setup potentially across our eastern viewing area. So from Iowa down into eastern Kansas, Missouri, and the Illinois Valley, we'll have to watch that Thursday and into Thursday night time frame for a broken line of some showers and supercell thunderstorms, perhaps mainly producing hail, gusty winds, and perhaps again another localized tornado threat here the further south you go. I think though the strongest convection will be outside our area across the southern tier of the United States, but something we'll still have to watch as we go into Thursday. Then as we go into Friday, as we mentioned, here comes the colder high pressure. We start to see sunshine back in the picture. The storm system overall pushes east into our Ohio Valley region and the Great Lakes, seeing some leftover rain into Friday morning. They'll be drying out Friday evening time frame. Let's look at our total precipitation here in inches through Friday the 15th. Notice some locally heavy rainfall here with this system from the Central Plains back through our Midwest and also across portions there of the southern plains closer to our southern viewing area. But notice across our far north, across portions there of North Dakota, northern South Dakota, northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and the UP of Michigan up here across our far northern areas, little if any precipitation here as this system will be moving further towards the south, avoiding those areas at all costs this week. And looking here at our snowfall potential, a narrow swath, we could see maybe a dusting up to an inch or so of snow. This will be across central Wisconsin, northern Iowa into southern Minnesota, back into South Dakota there and into Nebraska. And a lot of this will be on grassy surfaces here if we see any at all. Really not looking at that big of a snow system with this. The heaviest snows will be outside our area back into the Rockies. And then as we go into the weekend time frame, we're going to see a trough develop again across the upper Midwest, and this is actually going to pivot further south late weekend time frame on Sunday and into early next week, and this is going to leave us high and dry. So very dry conditions, cold high pressure system from Canada moving down south here into the north central states this weekend, and our temperatures will respond accordingly. You can see to the north, we're going to be below freezing all day across North Dakota and into portions of northern Minnesota on Saturday, only be able to muster the 40s and 50s across our far south on Saturday afternoon, and then all of us by Sunday will be struggling to reach the 40-degree mark here as we have a cold day as we go into Sunday on the 17th of March, and those wind chill values across the Dakotas, Minnesota into Nebraska, into portions of northwestern Iowa will be struggling to reach 20 degrees. A lot of us will be seeing those middle and upper teens for wind chills Sunday afternoon, so certainly one of the colder weekends expected this weekend into March. Now finally, our long range forecast here going into that third week into March, the Monday, March 18th through Friday, March 22nd time frame. As noted in yesterday's video, we're going to have a trough lingering across the east and a ridge out west, where the north central states is caught in between this pattern. So it means we're going to be seeing near normal to slightly below normal temperatures, especially out east here, the closer you get to that trough. And that means we're also going to be seeing drier weather as well, as we're in between weather systems. So not looking for any significant weather events through that third week in March, but we will certainly keep up with that and keep you updated as we do get closer. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you like today's weather forecast here. Also be sure to press the like button down below as well. And thank you guys so much for watching North Central Weather Center. This is Hunter, and I will see you all on Wednesday.